Hey guys, Curious60 with the Kaladesh Express, and I have been watching a metric ton of these top 10 products you should buy to increase productivity videos. That sounds hyper specific, but there are so many of these on the net.
I spent the last 2 years working on this setup right here.
Sometimes you just want an actual workstation to get things done.
I've gone through quite a few desk setups over the years.
These accessories add up to make your space more enjoyable to be in and your workday more productive.
And I've just been stuck in this rabbit hole trying to figure out what products I need to buy to make my videos better or make my editing time better or get more organized. And I don't know why. I don't necessarily need these. I have my video production kind of down to a science at this point. So I think I'm just stuck in one of those rabbit holes. But it has inspired me to make this video where I share with you like the top 10 products I use to make my Commander gameplay experience more enjoyable or more premium. Now what do I mean by more premium? I mean keeping your Commander gameplay experience like organized and readable and usable. Things like keeping track of commander damage, life totals, making sure your board state is super clearly identifiable, your counters, things like that. I'm going to run you through all the products that I use to make my Commander experience as premium and as enjoyable as possible and as clear as possible. I'll have links down below for most of the products on this list. It's not an Amazon affiliate link. Don't worry, you're not supporting me if you don't want to. But if you do want to, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, let's just get into it. First product is going to be a really obvious one, and I know everybody already has one. This is the playmat I like to use most often when I play Commander, but why specifically this one? A lot of players like to just get whatever playmat that Ultra Pro puts out, or I guess now Ultimate Guard's making Wizards branded playmats, but just have the super busy art on them, they're really nice looking. I love to use those as my mouse pad. Currently, I have a Kaiser playmat as my mouse pad, and I love it. But for reading a board state with 4 different players playing, 400 different individual cards, it gets confusing, and the simpler the playmat, the easier it is to read that board state. The other thing I like about this particular playmat is that the screen is one side of the playmat, but the other side is this zone where I can keep my graveyard and my deck, and people know it's not really my battlefield. It works for me at least. So that'd be the first accessory I'd recommend buying, is a very clean playmat. But that's not premium, and this video is talking about premium things. So the other playmat I like to use that still follows the same rules is inside this product, which is going to be the next thing we're going to talk about. But it is my signed Liliana of the Veil playmat. It's not as busy as some of the new playmats we get from Ultra Pro, and it still has some really nice art. It still really speaks to me, but it still keeps my board state readable. I pretty much only use this playmat when I go to RCQs nowadays, but it's a premium playmat. I want to make sure I showed you something so this video is not clickbait. All right, the second accessory I want to show you guys is an accessory not just for you, but for your accessories. And this Playmat Tube. It's called the Gamegenic Accessories Playmat Tube Red. I like this one more than other playmat tubes, and you can get any playmat tube you want, but I like this one specifically because it has this hexagonal surface, so no matter how I put it down, I don't have to worry about it rolling off the table. I also like this one because I can carry 2 playmats in it. It sucks to forget your playmat and then nobody have an extra one, so I like to typically bring 2 playmats with me when I go to places to play Commander, and this tube allows me to do that pretty comfortably. But there's not a lot to say on a playmat tube. It's a playmat tube. This one I feel is a little more premium than other ones, like I said, for those flat edges that you can sit it down, but really any playmat tube will work, and I do think you should get one. You want to protect your investments. The next accessory I want to talk about is an accessory that you've probably seen on the channel a million times. It's an Ultimate Guard Boulder. This is my Post Malone Ultimate Guard Boulder, but that's not very premium. These are just some stickers I got off Redbubble to adorn my Posty Enchanter deck box. This is the Ultimate Guard Boulder I want to talk about. This is the Ultimate Guard RTE Boulder 100 Artist Series 2 by Mario Inaud. I'm sure I said that right, and it is absolutely stunning. I'm putting close-ups on the screen now so you can really take a look at it, but it's just a regular boulder. There's nothing special about it particularly, but it looks really nice, and putting my favorite single-sleeve 100-card Commander deck in one of these feels phenomenal. I'm eventually going to trade out all of my non-sticker boulders with these because I really like these Artist Series boulders. They just feel very premium and cool. What if I wanted a product that's not an Ultimate Guard boulder, something that's not plastic, has a little more of that premium feel to it? Well, I personally would recommend, for a single sleeve Commander deck, the Ultimate Guard Sidewinder. I really like Sidewinders. I used these recently for the first time and fell in love with them. Again, they give it that super premium touch for your single sleeve Commander decks that just makes it feel like you're pulling out a cool exclusive product. You know what I mean? I absolutely love these. The magnets are super strong, as Ultimate Guard tends to do, and they open up all the way so you can make sure you can get a 2-finger grip on your cards. I think these are absolutely swanky. They are the coolest deck boxes I think Ultimate Guard makes. Not the most practical because they don't really fit inside of other things, but they are super duper cool. Well, let's say you wanted to take a step up from something like the Boulder or the Sidewinder. You wanted something a little more premium that only really held one deck comfortably, and you wanted the deck to be double sleeved and have all its tokens, and you know what I'm talking about. It's the Academic by Gamegenic and the Professor. I still do like this box. I did a review on this not too long ago, and I had some things to say on it, and my feelings haven't really changed. But when I do want to take out my one favorite double sleeve deck, and I want all the accessories, and I only really plan on playing that deck for the night, this is the box I go to most of the time. Currently it holds my Merfolk deck because of course it does, and I think it's really nice for that one deck premium experience. I'm not going to belabor it too much. I did a whole video review on this product. I still think this product is great. If you want it, you know you want it. If you don't, you don't. But it has drawers that can hold cards. It has a big spot in the middle that can hold different deck boxes or double sleeve commander decks. Also leaves a spot for a top loaded commander. It has a dice tray. It has literally everything you'd want for one deck and one deck only. It also has a feature of the lid falling off very easily. Super premium finish on the outside. Not really something I love personally. I don't really care for this material, but it is very premium. I do want to say that. It has very nice TCC emblems on the top, bottom, and side. So very cool there. There's really cool acrylic divider that comes out that makes it possible to store different size deck boxes, such as the Ultimate Guard Sidewinder. I like this box.
Put a sock in it. No one cares.
I don't know how many accessories I've already been over. We've probably been over a lot, but here's a couple more. I think the most premium accessory you can have is one of these little click wheel things. You can't really get these anymore because they only came with certain products, the Commander collections and the Phyrexia LP1. Absolutely, but you can get some really cool metal ones online. I think this one's pretty premium because it is relatively exclusive and I like the Phyrexia symbol on it, but you can get all sorts of them online on Amazon, or maybe your local game store has some of the Commander collection ones. Mine does, but I have one, so I didn't pick one up. They're super useful for a lot of different things though. I like to use this one, especially when I'm playing my Urza deck. I can track my current artifact counts on board, so I know how big my constructs are, but it can also track storm count. It can track life totals, which is what it was originally used for. It can track a lot of things, and having this device right near you makes it just like a really cool tactile experience that makes it clear to everybody what you're trying to do. You just got to declare, I'm tracking artifacts, I'm tracking storm count, I'm tracking mana, whatever, and it's super useful for that. The next accessory is one you probably already have in your pocket, and I want to tell you how to make that accessory just a little bit more premium, and that's your cell phone. The first app I want to talk about is going to be Delver Lens. It lets you scan cards and add them to a database or add them to your inventory to keep track of things like that, and that's super useful, but that's not really useful for Commander. What is useful for Commander is that the card scanning is really accurate and will scan foreign cards and let you pull them up in English. Very useful feature. The second app I want to talk about is LifeTap. LifeTap is a super cool app that lets you track life totals, commander damage. You can set players' names. You can set images of their commander on the background of each area to help keep track of things like whose commander's who. It can also pick the turn order for you. It can roll dice. It can do basically everything you need to do. Everything except for keep track of the counters on your creatures. And we got an accessory for that too. For keeping track of token counts and +1/+1 counters, we have these dice. These I got off Amazon from a generic reseller. I'm not exactly sure who actually makes them. I'm sure we have someone here in America that makes them. These are little +1/+1 counter dice and -1/-1 counter dice, and they are super useful. Super high contrast, easy to read. They make keeping track of how big things are super easy. Same thing with the -1/-1 counters. It makes keeping track of how many more counters you got to put on that Avacyn to get rid of it super easy. For my regular general use dice, I have these Chessex ones. I got these green and blue translucent ones. I think they're really pretty. It means I had to buy 2 different sets, but you don't need to do that. You could just buy one that you really like, and it will help keep track of other things like how many copies of a token you have or how many counters are on your planeswalker. Actually, we do have something else for that as well, and we'll get to that very soon. But I'm showing off these super cool colored ones because, again, I want to show off premium products to you guys. But if we're talking about premium dice, there's none more premium than this Lord of the Rings spin down from the pre-release kits when Lord of the Rings came out. The emerald color to it is absolutely phenomenal, and it's one of the coolest dice I own, period. But in general, I would just recommend having some amount of D20s. They're always useful to have on the table. I wouldn't track your life with them, but you can track other things like token counts once again. Sometimes token counts get really high. But yeah, we all have dice. We don't need more of those. We need things to keep track of flying counters and death touch. With so many new counters that Wizards has introduced over the last couple of years, how do we keep track of those? Well, have I got the thing for you. May I introduce to you Luxury Playstyle. Now these are the most premium thing I'm going to talk about today, and for good reason. They are absolutely phenomenal and infinitely useful. What I have here are their ability crescendo counters in rose gold and loyalty shield counters in regular gold. The ability counters are super useful. They have an image on one side depicting the ability and on the other side the name of the ability, and they're actually double-sided. So this one is death touch and lifelink, which is super nice. And the Planeswalker shield counters are super nice. They feel like little coins. They got +1 on one side and +3 on the other side, so you can add 2 of them, and then when you get to the third loyalty counter, you can just flip it over, take the other 2 off. Really makes keeping track of those counters and those abilities super easy and feel really nice. Like, I feel like a lord when I'm using these products. And these are some of the most premium accessories you'll probably ever own if you decide to buy them. I will say they are not cheap. So the loyalty shield counters for a set of 5 are like $35. The ability counters are $18 for a set of 3, and that's quite a bit once you start adding up all the different types of counters you're gonna need. But they are premium. You're not just paying for looks, you are paying for a lot of functionality. These are pretty high contrast and make it really easy to tell what's going on your board. So I can't recommend them enough if you can afford them. If not, Infinite Tokens also makes a really cool product that have little coins that you can write abilities on and tracks them exactly the same way. Speaking of which, that is the other product that I would probably recommend. Now I know they don't really fit into the theme of the rest of the video, but always Infinite Tokens. They are super useful. People forget tokens all the time, and I do recommend having some on you. But aside from Infinite Tokens, even though again I do recommend them, there is another product that I also recommend, and it's these blank playing cards. And I like these because I can meet people when I'm out playing Commander and who say they're artists, and I can hand them a blank playing card like, hey, would you mind drawing me a token? And I've gotten some really cool custom tokens out of these things. So I definitely also recommend keeping some of these on you, especially if you're running some artists that you might be playing a game with. They make cool stuff. All right, I got one more premium product to show you guys, and it's probably the most important one of any product I've shown off today, and that is a really good backpack. This is my London Action Power backpack I picked up while I was vacationing in London with my wife. And it doesn't have to be this one. I'm not recommending specifically this one, I guess, in this moment. I'm more recommending a really useful backpack, a really thought out backpack. So this one has 3 different compartments in it. A small compartment here in the front, a medium compartment that I can keep my binder in, another large compartment I can keep my decks in, and this back one can keep my playmat. It can keep basically everything else, my camera equipment when I'm out recording. Also, each side has a water bottle holder which can hold more playmat tubes, has these little straps to keep them tight, and it also has this battery bank area, so if I wanted to run a cord through it when I'm at a convention, I can keep my phone charged. Finding a really nice backpack is going to be a make or break. It doesn't seem like it, but it really is going to be a make or break when you go to these conventions. Being able to find the things you want to find quickly, having space to store the things that you buy, if you buy a print or you buy another deck box or whatever. Having a nice backpack with a really well thought out internal layout is going to be cream to make sure your stuff is organized and functional and useful during the time you're playing Commander, especially at conventions. But yeah, that is basically it. That is the products and accessories that I recommend that I actually use when I play Commander. If you play with me, you'll pretty much be seeing all of these, and it makes the Commander game, at least for me, a lot more fun. I hope you're able to find something here that was helpful to you. I hope you found something that made your game more premium. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Discord link in the description if you want to pitch more ideas to me or you want to talk to me directly. Stay tuned in the end where I'm going to give some shout outs to some of my subscribers. I'm going to start doing this in videos, and yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm Curry6 of the Kaladesh Express, and I hope you have a great day. Hey, sorry to come back into the credits so early, but I just want to say, in case you didn't know, that some Chessex dice glow. I showed some in the video, I'm going to show some now. Yeah, take your Chessex dice with like those sparkles in them, put them under a lamp for a while and see if they glow. They might, and if they do, it's really cool. Okay, that's all I want to say.